Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. In my last video, I talked about the importance of location in buying a real estate property. In that video, I explained why among every factors that should be considered when buying a property, that location is the most important factor that should be considered and should be given high priority among every other factors. Also, in that video, I made a promise that I am going to create another video where I will be explaining some of the key factors that should be considered when choosing the right location. So this video is a fulfillment of that promise. So in today's video, I am going to be breaking it down, explaining some key factors that should be considered when choosing the right location for your real estate investment. Hello, my name is Chris Aseka. If you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to this channel, click on the bell notification, and also do well to give this video a thumbs up. So what are the key things that should be considered when choosing the right location for your real estate investment? The first thing that should be considered when choosing the right location for your real estate investment is the rate of infrastructural development in that location. Infrastructural development is one of the major factors that should be considered when buying a real estate property. Development is one of the major determinants of the price of property. That is why the price of property in a place that is already developed is always higher than places that are not developed. So development is one of the key factors that determine the value of a property. Am I in any way trying to discourage you from buying properties in places that are not developed, in places where the infrastructural development are not much? No, that is not what I'm trying to do, because not everybody have the money, not everybody can afford buying properties in places that are already developed, and waiting to accumulate the bulk money that is needed to buy property in a developed place is one of the key reasons why so many people miss out on opportunities of life-changing magnitude in real estate investments. One of my mentors will always say that real estate is so cheap and affordable when it is green that so many neglect it, but it is so expensive when it is ripe that so many cannot afford it. So it is not advisable to wait when you can afford the money to buy property in a developed place before you invest in real estate. David Warrenker will say that buy property where the part exists, but buy more property where there is no part, so you can create your own. What this means is that you can buy a property, you can buy 1 plot, 2 plots in a developed place, but when you go to a place that is not developed, it is advisable that you buy as much as you can. You buy acres. If you have the money, buy more properties where there is no part, so you can live your own, because this is one of the ways that people get rich overnight. So before you buy a property, you look out for the development that is in that location. Of course, there are so many places that if you want to buy property, you discover that there is no much development, but you should be looking out for the landmark that is close to that place that is going to drive people down to that location, because landmark is what drives people to any location. So you look out for the landmark that is in that location that can drive people down to that place. In some cases, there are no visible landmark. Like if you want to invest in some typical village, there might not be any visible landmark, but you should be able to forecast the development that is coming there in a short time and the prospect for that place to develop in a short time before you invest. The second factor that should be considered before you buy a property in any location is to research the historical value of properties in that location. Due to so many factors, the rate of appreciation of real estate is not the same in different areas. Like the rate of appreciation in Igbo might not be the same with the rate of appreciation of property in Omowa. Some places experience 10% appreciation, some experience 20, some experience 30, experience 50% appreciation, while some other places experience as much as 100% appreciation. That is, if you buy a property in that location for 1 million, you are certain that in the next year that you can sell that property for 2 million. So before you buy a property in any location, you should be able to investigate that what is the annual rate of appreciation of property in this location. I always advise my clients that before you buy a property, make sure that over the years that place have shown a consistent rate of appreciation of at least 30% before you go ahead to buy a property. Take your time to investigate how much is a plot of land selling in this place last year, how much was it selling last 2 years, before you know if that is a place to buy a property. Because if you buy a property in a place where it is not appreciating, that means the one which you bought will not also appreciate. So if you can investigate how much properties have been selling in the past in that location, it will give you an insight as to if you buy your own, if it is going to appreciate. The third thing that should be considered when you want to buy a property is the proximity and the accessibility of that property to major areas of concern. These areas of concern might be like the bank, the airport, recreational center, the stadium, hospital, schools. The proximity and the accessibility of that place where you want to buy a property to areas of concern, that like these places that I have earlier mentioned, is one of the key things that will determine if that place is going to develop or if it will give you a good return on investment when you buy. That is why lands that are close to this place, like land that are close to the airport, stadium, to the bank, they are very, very much more expensive than land that are far from this place. Like as a family man, before you buy a property in a place, you are most likely to ask, is there a hospital close to this place that if there's an emergency, I can take my kids there, I can take my wife there. So before buying a property, investigate what is the proximity of this place where I want to buy this property to all these areas of concern, like the bank, the school, the stadium, the hospital, the airports, before you go ahead to buy property. This is one of the reasons why development hits SARS Road in Port Harcourt. If you know Port Harcourt very well, if you know SARS Road, you will agree with me that development hits SARS Road like a wildfire. Because like 7-8 years ago, SARS Road is a no-go area. There's a place that it is everywhere is bushy, but if you go to that same SARS Road now, if you have not been there for a long time, you will be surprised at the rate of development in that place. So one of the reasons why this thing happened is the proximity of SARS Road to major areas of concern, the proximity of SARS Road to Uniport, the proximity of SARS Road to the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, the proximity of SARS Road to the airport, the proximity of SARS Road to Bowie Camp and the F space. So you see that this place is in the middle of major area of concern. That is why development hits that place like wildfire. The fourth thing that should be considered when you want to buy a property that will guarantee return on investment is the rates of crime and insecurity in that place. Nobody would like to buy a property in a place where they know that they cannot sleep at night. Nobody will want to buy a property in a place where they know that they are at risk of losing their life and their property. Like if you go to a place like Borno State or Yobe State, you see that people are running away from properties that took them a fortune to acquire. People are deserting these properties because of insecurity. So what do you think is the value of the property in that location when people are running away from those places? If you look at what is happening currently in the southeast, you see that the level of insecurity in the southeast is affecting the real estate development of that area. But at the same time, the neighboring cities are enjoying a massive boom. Like what is happening in Onitsha is causing the Asaba real estate market to flourish, because investors are living on nature for Asaba. At the same time, investors are living on worry for Port Harcourt. So nobody will want to buy property in place where they are at risk of losing that property. So before you buy a property in any location, it is very advisable to look out for the rate of insecurity in that location. Of course, our security belongs to God. God is our ultimate security, but that doesn't mean that we should throw away our life. At least we should take our time to ensure that we have done our due diligence to see if that place is secure. So these are some of the things that you should consider. These are some of the factors that you should look out for when choosing the right location for your real estate investments. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, click on the bell notification, and do it to give this video a thumbs up. Till I come your way next time, I'm still your favorite creator, Chris Asika. Bye bye.